So the next scene that I want to start us out with, and in the rules, it kind of references the fact that all of the characters are somewhat entwined by fate. Some of you explicitly cast magic, others it's a more instinctive thing. But, either way, you have a greater awareness of magic and of fate than the mundane world does. So everything that I describe as a cutscene, your character has a vague impression of this. Your character might not know all the details that I give, but like you might have had a dream that reminds you of this thing that I'm describing. Likewise, your character has an instinctive awareness where if you pass by each other on the street, you key in that that's another person that's entwined the same way that I am. It's very hard to hide from each other. And this is restricted to people that are in the party, so to speak. Kind of a really, really, really low-key version of the Sense8 premise.
Or, have you ever read The Dark Tower?
I have not.
There's basically, I can't remember the term for it, but he has a battle group of, like, friends that, like, become, like, his inner cabal, and, like, that's needed for the quote-unquote quest, and they can kind of feel and sense each other over great distances.
Kind of. And different characters might have different levels of awareness about that. So if you want your character to be fairly, like, hands-off with that, then you might say you just have the vaguest impressions. If you want your character to be super into it, then we might make some dice rolls to get specific.
I was thinking that'd probably like be part of...
Probably more like a threaded fate thing. Maybe like you could tell, like, you think of threaded fate in a lot of mythology, you could think of a thread tied around a finger, and you could watch the thread go out, and he'd walk by and you'd see that thread moving with him, and you'd see him run around a corner or something like that, kind of like concept.
Yeah.
I was actually working with kind of a concept with that, with the Cabal that Ein is in.
Cool. And it's one of those things where, as a member of the Cabal, you might have that awareness with another group, but you also have awareness with this group as a Venn diagram for you. The Cabal does not necessarily have the awareness of this group.
Well, the Cabal's purpose was to raise that awareness within the Cabal itself. Ein's problem is she doesn't feel that connection with anyone in the Cabal except for Aegon.
Gotcha. Okay. So, all of that was a big preface to describe how we're about to see something that is not happening sequentially. This is a flashback. How it plays out is and I'm going to go to a slightly darker place with this. It is a sunny day. They're like sometime in June or July. Fairly cool day for the summer, like in the high 80s. And clear sky. There are twin sisters that are walking downtown. They're early 20s. One of them has dyed her hair a bright pink and looks somewhat like she fell into a Hot Topic bin. And she's wearing like a pentagram necklace and has some jewels, like jewelry, that she's adorned with. Her sister has a guitar slung over her back. Otherwise, these are identical twins. These are the kind of twins who have had to make a conscious effort to differentiate from each other. One going into the occult and metaphysics, and the other going into a musical career. And so
disappoint their parents.
Yes. So, and they're walking and talking downtown. The musician just had a fairly decent gig, and they're really excited about where their career is going. There's a squealing of tires. There's a thud. The musician is on the ground. Insane.
So the camera cuts back to a view behind the gaunt, tall, suited man from earlier, and the ear-piercing scream kind of changes from the screams of the scene of the accident with the thud to his scream, and there's kind of a jump cut into the view of him. And the camera slowly pans to the side, and you see a headless body standing in front of him, his hand shaking where he hasn't quite withdrawn it from his punch yet.
Oh, God.
And black smoke is billowing from the top of the neck, flowing down to where the head's laying on the ground. And you hear a female voice in her early 20s say, "Now why the fuck would you go and do that?"
At that, give me a charisma or some other kind of social control check.
Suddenly he pumps the head.
Let's go with honest.
Honest? Okay.
She's honestly curious why you would go and fucking do that. You know what? Let's go with the 20.
Jesus Christ. Okay, go ahead and give me a desperation check. And how this is going to work, I'm thinking that D100 is too low because you can get, like, the die rolls will add up. So roll me a D200. This would be roll a D20 and a D10. The D20 is the first two digits. The 10 is the last digit.
Okay. That's D10, right?
Yeah.
Okay. 113.
Okay, you're solid.
All right.
Okay, so you rolled a 20 for honesty. So you're legitimate. Why would you do that? What the fuck?
Rude.
Rude. The gaunt man, he takes a step back, withdraws his fist, and his legs buckle out, and he falls down to the ground. It's fucking true!
As he does that, she actually goes to the ground at the same time and picks up the head, and using the kind of, shoulder-length hair, loops it through one of her belt buckles and knots it. So it's hanging from her hip now. And she walks forward and pulls her hands out of her sleeves, which have been kind of over her fingertips from now. And there's not brass knuckles, but kind of knuckle dusters that are flat, almost iron-colored. There's also a bar that goes down the length of her arm, stopping at the elbow on either side of them. And on the front, there's words printed, like beaten into the metal. And on the left one, it says lake, and on the other one, it says chain. And she steps forward and kind of like leans down to him. And she starts to reach up to put her hand on her chin, and then it kind of passes through the smoke, and she puts her hands up and just puts it on her hips, and the face is kind of peering around the side of her hip, and says, "You know the rules. You know what we told you could do, and you didn't fucking do it. So now, you pay the price." And she's going to punch the shit out of him.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a check. What are you using to punch the shit out of him?
Strength.
Strength?
I'm going to take the 2 and go with the 15.
Okay. And give me another desperation check.
Okay. What am I at now? Well, no, I got 2 for that. I rolled a 2.
Oh, right. Okay. Sorry.
I just need 1. I already had 1 from his other. So
Yeah.
that's, let's see, 23. I need another red one, sorry. I thought it was a red one. So yeah, 23.
All right.
144.
You're solid. Okay. So when I said that he gave out an exasperated, it's true. He honestly, he's a fairly low-level member of his own organization. He basically, I guess his primary job is just kind of, he's a delivery boy for a little bit of goblin dust. And he was following orders, and there were rumors that the Cabal was getting on their tail, but he didn't think it was actually that serious. You pound the seriousness into his face.
With chain. So he has the backwards word chain basically bruised into his cheek.
Hi. Okay, is this like marking him?
Yeah. The general idea is it's cold iron.
Okay. Actually, as the cold iron strikes him, there is a sizzling sound and smoke arises from his fey flesh, branding him thusly. Do you do anything else to...
She kind of like unloops the hair, moves her head over to like look at his cheek, and great close up of like her holding her own head out, and then like looking at the brand. Says, "Oh, that ain't gonna heal. That ain't gonna heal pretty." All right, you fucking tall boy, get the fuck out of here.
He starts scrambling, and runs down the alley.
All right. Would you say that counts as winning a fist fight?
Yes. So, that will... Yep, that's about right. Okay. So as he scrambles down the alley and starts running away, let's see, what's the very last thing we see in that scene? What do you think?
Probably, probably her, like, dusting her hands and, like, slipping the dusters off and, like, shuffling her coat so it covers them back up and saying, "Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, how the fuck am I going to explain this to Aegon?"
Okay, at that very moment, there is a ringing on your cell phone.
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph.
She might have met one of them.
And it's gonna be Aegon. We're gonna cut with that. Though, one thing that I'll say is that mentally, like as we see him scrambling away before the phone call comes in, and before you say the Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, there's a flash, and we see some of the paperwork that you had been shown that has a number of these low-ranking hooligan drug traffickers and dealers. The audience at home recognizes the fellow that you had talked to, just real briefly on one of those files. Okay, so then we cut there. as you answer the phone, presumably, or do you just let it ring?
It cuts to the hand holding the phone and then holding it, like holding the head up to it, and then cuts there.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, the floor is open. Does anybody want to jump in?
Do one of the new people want to go? Because you've been waiting a little bit.
I was actually going to try to meet up with your character, actually, since he seems to be like the most approachable person who would be in the know. But I'm trying to find out a way
set up a scene.
how my character would find your character.
Well, I'll set up with one of my quests. So, the scene would pan up. I'm gonna be at a local furniture store that's there in town. It's about midday, and I'm up at the counter and I'm talking to Dan Brown. Dan Brown is one of the local incubuses that's in town who decided to get out of the media business. I'm trying to convince him to be my partner in crime. You can see me kind of talking, yelling at him, and he's trying to work with customers, and I'm just following him around, talking to customers and scaring them away and everything else like that. And a lot of people know that I'm constantly there, that I'm constantly bothering him, because he gets featured a lot on TV. He's a big TV personality, too. He's trying to get sales up for his business. And I'm trying to convince him to come out and do the gig with me. If that sets it up in a way that you could, people know that I'm usually there, because every time they come to buy furniture, it's Dan Brown and Chris Mardell running around with papers, and he's got pencils going on, and he's trying to talk to people, and he's dropping things, and he's talking about couch conspiracies, and
Give me just to set the frame mechanically. Give me a roll as you're trying to convince him. It sounds like the kind of one that you would intentionally try to go low.
I'm gonna do 2, and I'm gonna use charisma, so that gives me a 12.
Okay, so not too bad.
Hear me out.
Listen, you don't understand. The couches come with mics.
Okay.
It cuts in on like the last half of a truly insane conspiracy theory.
You can see people just exiting the parking lot.
They're not mites. They're not bed bugs. They're nanobots put there.
This couch was made in a third world country by child slaves.
They're trying to control your sleeping patterns. I don't want you to go out and drink.
Memory foam remembers everything.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. So, kind of how this is going to play out. We're going to continue this scene. When you want to enter the scene, basically you will roll 3d20, and I will set the difficulty for depending on how you describe entering it. And then if you roll high enough, boom, you're in the scene.
48.
It's going to be more than that because he's having us roll a 2d100.
Oh, okay.
Or 1d.
I'm just starting to get high. So I don't think I'm getting right away.
Okay, I was just counting the slots.
You're
so we can
rolling
go
a
more with the
1d200. So
Okay, so the slots it could be innumerable.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's just, okay.
yeah, you could max out at 199 and still have a chance
I
of
remember you were saying
succeeding.
something earlier. It's I don't think I have a lot of room left.
No. It's designed so that it slowly builds over time. Okay. So,
Sorry.
and you're, if I'm understanding correctly, you're never quite actually convincing Dan Brown to join.
That's one of my quests, because as a warlock, I'm supposed to have a demon companion, and I didn't. I didn't want to get the imp demon. I didn't want to get one of the little shoulder demons that makes me feel bad about myself, because I already do that. I figured I'd find myself some sexy incubus that I can throw out there as bait, and walk around the corner and come back and do what I needed to do or listen on the story, and he just won't do it.
And Dan Brown's looking for a second career anyway.
Yeah, Dan Brown is he's an old friend of mine that I found out after I became a warlock. That's what he was, and he just won't give it up. It's family business, Doesn't want to go back into media, and he knows that if he leaves there, they're going to come right out there for him.
Okay. So this is a family business.
Yeah.
Dan's uncle, who was meeting with somebody in the office, opens the door to yell at one of the clerks and happens to look up and see the two of you walking. And from across the room, you can hear the uncle, "God fucking damn it!" And he starts storming your way. How do you respond to that?
I'd probably be used to this scenario pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably be like, "Hey Dan, need to meet me for coffee? I gotta go. Got things to do, places to be, articles to write," and I'd probably start heading towards the door.
Cool. Okay. That'll be a great time for you to enter.
Yes.
Like bumping into him as he leaves the.
Yeah, as soon as he walks out, I'm about to go in.
Okay, that's gonna be really easy. Go ahead and roll the 3d20s.
Is this oh, that's a 6.
Six.
Okay.
Yep. I'll let you enter on pretty much any of those.
Okay. I was just going to go with intelligence, I guess. And then just the 6. Or so it's a 10.
For the entering, I'm kind of
I don't know
on
what
the
it would even
fence.
be.
Like I think by default it's just gonna be 3d20 and you
Oh,
choose
okay.
one.
Alright, then.
Does that add to your?
Desperation, yes. So,
Should
Okay.
be base desperation up.
and in the future, depending on how dicey the situation is, I might not tell you how easy it's going to be to enter.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But for now, yes, I want this meeting to happen.
Right.
So,
I'll pick the middle one for 8.
okay, sounds good. So, yeah.
I just realized we had these here too.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
there's
way on the
multiple
other
spots,
side.
yeah.
And you'll notice that the
I
two
always
on the
mentioned it
sides
earlier.
are pointing that way, and that one's pointing that way.
Oh.
So from wherever you are, you can kind of reach either side.
Nifty.
Very nice.
I was just waiting for you guys to pass them to me. I'm like, oh hey, there's
Strategic.
spot check.
So yeah, you are rushing out of the store. As you turn around, you bump into this guy. Do you two know each other, or is this your first meeting?
I mean, I usually investigate like high class or like low class screwballs, so I probably wouldn't know about a pharmacist. I'd probably be honest.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
He
I'm
might
new
have filled
here.
your
You
scripts
said
at
that
CVS.
Yeah, like you might see me like when I'm
identify-
going in to like buy my nitro pills or something like that, or I'm buying like what is
We'll say I
Caffeine
heard
pills.
about him from somebody from work, and I was like, that's somebody who might know something.
You might have at one point dug up dirt on pharmaceutical experiments.
like big pharma in Wichita.
Yeah, yeah.
And
So you've heard of his reputation, and you've been kind of trying to track him down.
what time of day is this?
He said midday,
It's
so
midday.
I'll
So
explain.
I'm
what's
hoping you're
going
walking
on.
around like
Yeah.
like clutching on
He's got. I was gonna say he's got an umbrella and he's
You
wearing.
got
like,
it from a secondhand
this,
store, so it's like black lace.
and it's like this heavy, like he's a vampire, so he can't really feel how cold it is outside. But it's later in the year, so he thinks it's totally appropriate to be wearing
Right.
this like thick wool jacket and everything.
Like
Everyone else is like wearing a light sweater, and he's like
everyone's
full
walking
out.
around like this.
sunscreen so thick it looks like white paint.
He's got like sunglasses, and he's got the umbrella like it's about to start raining, even though it's like partly cloudy. If anyone like asks about it, he's like, "Oh, I'm from Florida. I'm not used to this chilly weather."
I think I'd probably
So
initially
subtle.
respond is, "Do you know something about the weather that I don't?" Like, like I have 15 suspicion, so I would naturally like, "Is it gonna rain? Like, do you know something I don't?" Like, what did I tell you?
Who's controlling the weather?
Nice.
He sees you like Doyle sees you coming out of the building, and he looks at you for a moment. And he goes, Chris Mardell.
Yeah, it's me. What do you want? Who sent you?
I'm on a private errand. I am a pharmacist, but I'm looking for some medicine to help my friend, and it's not the kind you can buy off a shelf." And as he's talking, he's just idly rattling this half-empty pill bottle in his left hand,
So
slowly, like this.
So you're looking for a drug trade, drug lord, drug dealers.
Take your pick.
I think, and I don't have any solid proof, but I think my friend has a magical disease. Something of the occult. Something that you can't cure in a lab.
Can I do a point of order? How common is it that everyone knows other people are magical? So
Not
for like
very,
me as a
right?
warlock, I would probably be easily identifiable to other, like, I would know there's a witch in town. I would know that there's magical creatures in town because I constantly interact with those people.
Mhm.
Obviously, I know there's an incubus. I know he works at the local furniture store. So
Right.
it's super common for me to know that people are magical. But how well would we as people know that someone else is a magical creature if we don't already know them on a personal level?
If you're, there is an intentional veil of secrecy. If you start doing things that they can't cover up easily, the cabal comes knocking on
So
your
with
door.
like the large wool jacket and like the black umbrella would be like a sense of me enough to say like, oh, I know he's probably not human.
Not only is that probably going to be enough at this moment, but also when you two met, that radar ping
Right.
went off. So you know that not only is he likely magically inclined in some capacity, but also that you're wrapped up in the same shit.
You're a conspiracy theorist. Confirmation bias. Normal people see me, they just see a weirdo. That's what they want to
Right.
see. That's what they see. You're a conspiracy theorist. You see somebody who sticks out. You know.
I know him.
There's
I know
something-
there's
You might
something
not
wrong.
know he's a vampire. You might think like maybe he's a fire djinn or something like
Right.
that.
But I
or,
know,
you
I know there's something up. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
And you
Or
don't think it's
possibly
like a
even
weirdo.
Yeah, who's
You're
a
like,
student of wool
yeah.
coat walking
Yeah.
around with this,
maybe
you
even
know.
the Invisible Man or
Right.
something. You know.
And the fact that he brings up magical disease also pings to cases that you worked like a couple
Right.
years back. So even the far out there content of what he's saying, like you're picking that up. You have that file at home.
Although you still are looking for the person who developed cancer.
Right.
all just
We need to get together.
cancer out of pure hatred.
I'm probably gonna cue him like as Cargill because I can't think of a lot of companies here in Wichita. I know there's two that are pharma, but I can't think of their names. So I'm gonna use Cargill as a bad guy. So go. You must be asking my big Cargill piece. You know, breaking down the investigation into their drug trades.
Cargill.
Sure.
I'm new here. I'm from down south, Florida.
Florida Man.
Oh god.
Florida
They
man.
get up to some shit though.
I says, but if there's something you need, you hit one of the late night concerts, you'll find somebody.
Late night concerts, you say?
It's downtown in the warehouse district, about twice a week. Got local bands, some out of towners. There's always somebody dealing. I can find you something better, but it just depends on what you need.
I don't need a normal dealer. I thought of all the people that I could reach out to, you seemed like you would know the most about the supernatural side of things. Where do I find a dealer who specializes in that sort of thing?
Well, you probably have to go down to the witches district looking for someone that can actually do a better cure. Now, depending on where they get their sources, will be here and there. But there's... Oh, do you guys remember there's a new... it's an arcade goth shop that's down in Delano. You guys know Skeleton's Closet.
Oh.
The Skeleton's Closet would be the place to go. So they have some of the things that you can't get anywhere else. High-end medications, they can cure diseases. And if they don't know how to do it, they know someone that does.
Witches District, huh? Have you ever worked with them? You seem like a guy in the know.
Which is the 9/11. Don't talk to me about it.
Oh.
Oh, jeez. This is gonna be fun.
I'd rather go home and look all
Hexes can't melt steel beams.
Oh.
X is done by amateurs. Can't help
I'd probably flick out because like the skeleton closet. Whenever you go in, they always give you a whole bunch of cards. Everyone that they work with in town. I'd probably flick out like the black laminated card they had. And I'd probably toss it to you, and then I'd probably run off real fast because I'm always moving. So I'd probably be short, sweet conversations. And on the card you'd see like a scribbled number on it, so you'd have my phone number.
If you can make it out.
Their business
Right.
information and then just scribbles on the back.
Yeah, this is scribbles.
I'm a pharmacist. I'm an expert just discerning absolute nonsense scribbles. Ah, that's Dr. Jefferson right
Okay.
there.
Actually, one thing that I will jump in there with
Okay.
is that as you are turning to like hurry off, there's another ping on that radar that coincides with a vibrating burner phone in your pocket.
Oh,
Would we
okay.
both feel that?
You hear the slight buzzing. You feel the phone vibrating.
But I mean, like, the magical ping would be both
Yes.
sense that. I think my eyes would probably flip on to the demon, the pack mode. Because
Okay.
I'd be reacting to something going on around me.
Sure.
Might slow my walk, but I think I'd keep going.
Okay. All right. When you do you pull out the phone?
Yes.
It is.
I feel like that was intentional. Just kidding.
You when you look at it, it is the time and location for the deal.
Doyle reads over the message, memorizes it, and just deletes it.
Okay.
And yeets the phone.
Yeah.
And then, like, as he starts walking away, he just dumps the phone in a trash can on the way, past one of those little trash cans you see on the street.
Okay.
Yeah, because in reality, most people, both people have done that with their phone.
Right.
The message is saying it has been trashed. You don't want that message on your phone, especially if the cop shows up.
Yeah.
I'm here to walk. I don't know who you are. It's like, I understand this is an abandoned building. I'm just here to walk.
So, the when you turn on that sense, you get a vague sense. Actually, give me a check. What do you want to roll?
I'll use my warlock one.
Okay.
I think I can keep going up with my desperation.
Okay.
I'll do a 19.
Okay. Go for it.
Nice. Just take one of the black ones
Oh, is
instead
it
of the
50?
two green ones.
It's a
Yeah,
50.
Oh, I thought they scaled up. Sorry.
I love how the darkest one is the highest desperation.
Right.
As you're walking away, between the sympathetic connection, and turning on those senses for a 19, you're able to get first an impression that this message was somebody in the Fae community.
Right.
You get that feeling very distinctly. Second, you get an impression of a drug deal connected with the Fae. Third, there's a slight, like a flash image of the location and time in your head. Like, you don't have the absolutes, like you don't, like if it's at midnight, you don't see midnight, but you see like the moon in the right spot.
Right.
The other thing is that, what are your requests?
I have Packmaker investigate missing persons cases, which would be part of the original plot we started. Grimoire, talk to strangers in a cafe or coffee shop, or go to a local concert.
There is something in there that seems to ping on the missing persons.
Okay.
It's very indistinct, though. So while I'm thinking about it, everybody go ahead and mark down on your quests. Identify the musician.
Is that like an added quest? We all do that?
Yes. Yeah. From the cutscene. And that's worth 50.
Damn.
One of the weaknesses of Vigil was, in theory, there was a centralized plot that pulled everybody together. I'm kind of experimenting to see like ways to more proactively do that. So, incentivizing.
Well, the great thing about that is it ties into a central plot, but it still lets people play solo if they want to.
Right. Like separate investigations. And
And another thing with that, with this kind, if any one of you identifies them,
Everyone
it's
gets
like
it.
the group quest.
And
so.
what was our clue about the musician?
you in the cutscene, she and her twin sister were walking.
Right.
She
got
was
it.
hit by a car.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So I want to ask, is it a context clue? Is it the musician?
Hmm?
Oh, I just wanted to see if you did really clues. Never mind.
Do we know if is she still alive? Or no?
You don't know those details.
We don't know. Okay.
Got hit by a cop.
We could probably figure it out. We could try to find the sister, or find people get hit by a car.
So would this be
recently.
something like we were all like, asleep at night or something like that, and we all kind of saw the same
Right.
flashback?
Yeah. And like you can tweak it for your individual character if you want to, like it to be really vague or very specific in your head. But you all have the general broad knowledge.
So when we can interact with cutscenes,
Mhm.
would a flashback be something we can interact to try to like feel more information?
Yes.
Like if we got another flashback, we could roll to say, hey, like I want to kind of see if I can identify the street they were on or the ID plate on the car, or
Yes.
something like that. Okay.
Yep.
Whoever's next.
Okay, so let's see. So I have a conversation with my peon friend at the hotel. Okay. Because he's making more money than he normally does on tips.
Right.
So he's willing to be around.
Sure.
Anyway, so I know that in a big city, the way to get information is to get in touch with the well-known drug dealers in the town, right? So I asked this peon, who probably isn't making very much generally, who those people are in town.
Okay.
And
Okay.
my intent is just to get the hookup as though I were to make a drug deal.
Mm-hmm.
And to get the text of a location from this drug dealer once we get some communication started.
Sure. And the clerk themselves isn't gonna know a whole lot. When you start bringing up drugs,
Mm-hmm.
the clerk gets super nervous. Like this guy is like kind of I'm picturing him as like 22, 23, going to college.
I'll be like, this will pay for your next semester's tuition. And your name stays out of it.
And the kid is, I say kid, but the young adult is processing this, and that's not information that he himself actually knows. But he might have a friend that can know, or that would know. So
Get me some solid information, and you get paid.
okay. Let's see.
Are you going to tell him what type of drugs you're looking for?
She just wants a whole bunch of Molly and everything else.
The high end, hard to get shit. Whatever that is going to be.
Okay.
Uncut crack. Crack cocaine's pretty hard to get. What should I?
Let's say that, but let's say whatever the high end is, so from reputable sources.
Ethically farmed crack cocaine.
Ethically farmed?
Not the stuff that's actually
Ethically.
sugar and
Ethically.
I don't think anyone makes ethical crack cocaine.
That's why it's high end and rare.
Oh, it's made by the U.S. government. That makes it okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know anyone that worked in the Bay of Pigs? They have the drugs I need.
Ethical. Bay of Pigs. CIA operations probably don't fall under that
The
umbrella.
Bay of Pigs was ran by Cersei.
So the kid is nervous, but is weighing the options in their mind, and like, just a moment, because the benefits are really high. Goes and starts making a few phone calls. After 10 or 15 minutes pass, and you get the impression that this seems like a really weird question for them to be asking their friend, and their friend is a little off-put by it.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll take you out for drinks forever.
and comes back and is like, well, so my friend doesn't know you, but said that they would take me to go meet somebody.
I need that somebody to come here.
The kid is very nervously.
In a suit.
The other thing that he told me was that and he names a performance venue bar, kind of on that threshold between the entertainment district and the abandoned warehouse part of Old Town, as a place that, you know, if you start from the ground up, that's where you'd go.
Okay.
But his friend is very nervous about this situation.
Well, it's not quality information, and it certainly isn't convenient. So I suppose I'll cover just your textbooks next semester.
Sometimes that's more than the tuition.
And so I agree that I'll go to this place to root him out myself.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The kid thanks you profusely and then leaves. The scene follows the kid as they go to a supply closet, open the door with a very intentional, willful, and focused amount of calm, steps inside the supply closet, closes it behind them, sits down, and just leans against the wall and stares at the ceiling for a few moments.
From, like, the panic attack of the whole situation.
Right. Then they pull out their phone and they call the friend back and say, take a deep breath. You said that you'd take me, though, right? Okay, let's do this. And then proceed to make an arrangement where they will be meeting the drug dealer in your stead to find out the information for you.
Okay.
And the scene
Decided
ends.
he does want the whole tuition. Okay. Interesting.
And I'm going to go ahead and give him a name. He is Dennis.
That's my peon's name or the drug dealer's name?
The peon's name.
Okay.
DMS.
Dennis the would-be menace.
By the way, after my peon disappeared, I'd kind of like flash appear a list in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
It's only got a couple of scribbled names on it, and then, like, I'm just checking my notes, and then I flash it away again.
Okay. One of the names on there is going to be Skipjack.
Okay.
How you fucking doing, Skipper?
Okay. If nobody else wants to jump in, I kind of have a scene in mind that I want to throw in there.
Okay.
I haven't had a scene yet.
Oh, do you want to go ahead?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
All right. So I'm following this middle-aged gentleman after I asked him where I could sell my body. And I'd like to see where that goes.
Sure. Actually, the scene that I was going to throw in there was that exact moment.
Awesome.
His name is Bradley, and I'm kind of picturing him as a slightly taller, more handsome Danny DeVito.
All right.
It just sounds like not Danny DeVito, but okay.
A little bit taller and a little bit more handsome.
I
A whole lot.
apologize. I have to look up Danny DeVito.
God.
He's got the like glasses and the balding with the really like puffy.
Oh,
you
so
know.
we're talking Sunny in Philadelphia, Danny DeVito. I'm picturing twins Danny DeVito.
Oh yeah, no, the more the
Okay.
It's always sunny.
yeah.
Which I don't watch that show, but I've seen a couple episodes, but I don't.
It's the
I don't
longest
keep
running
up with
sitcom in
that.
history.
Okay.
Too
Okay.
long, in my opinion.
It's like
in
14
real
years
life, I would
now.
not have approached someone like that. Alright.
And he's a little more handsome, a little bit more in a couple of those pictures.
But, yeah, so we're just walking along. My character's like, I know a little bit about how the world works, but I don't have any identification, and I need to be able to support myself. And I have some talents, but they lie mostly in the physical realm.
And as you're walking, he is starting to blush, and he is doing that thing where he is being overtly gentlemanly, like he is pretending he's not blushing. He is desperately trying to take what you said. Like, he immediately reads it as a double entendre, and he is trying not to.
Well, I mean, literally, my character's abilities are Animal Command, Vision, Berserker Rage, Healer, and Bard. So, you know, they don't have the angelic miracles anymore.
So, what he's trying to do is get you to a safe place. And he has a friend that he trusts that kind of provides shelter for folks. And so he's leading you there. It's in Riverside, a couple blocks from one of the parks.
Oh, by the way, I'm an angel, yes. Guess I didn't come across there.
You're saying that to him?
I have a 14 in honesty.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Give me a roll for honesty.
All right.
Be honest.
I got a 7, an 8, and a 15. I'll use the 7 since I already have a 14.
Okay.
7. So wait a minute. 12,
He has the air of a person who has been he's been treated for paranoia, and as you explain to him that you're an angel, like all of those coping mechanisms that he was taught are, flushing forward. He hears you. He tries not to put too much weight onto it, though.
Hang on.
And he just moves a little bit faster as he tries to.
Just trying to see which personality is in control. And it's Zira, the human one, so yeah.
Okay. The house that he'll lead you to in Riverside is one of these large 2-story houses. One that has maybe 6 bedrooms. Really old. And it's a little worn down. It hasn't quite been maintained at the highest level, but it has a historic feel to it. There is a wrapping porch around it, and sitting on a chair on the front is a young woman in one of those metal rocking chairs. It's kind of like rocking back and forth. And she's got kind of a punk rock look to her. She sees Bradley and you approaching, and she doesn't recognize you, and you're still wearing the mental facility clothing, right?
Yes.
She scans you up and down, and scans Bradley up and down. Doing good for himself. Takes a drink of whatever it is she's got next to her, and knocks on the door a couple of times. It gets opened up, and 2 other, also like early to mid-20s, open up, see Bradley, see you, and gesture for you to come on in.
All right.
What kind of place is this?
It is, if it were more official, and if there was any actual oversight, it would be a halfway home. As it is, it's somebody. It's run by somebody who should be in a halfway home, but thinks they're doing good for everybody else.
All right.
The perfect place for an undercover or an underground angel to hang out.
Sounds good.
By the way, I have a very clear visual of this place. Like, I've seen this place.
Is it the green and black house?
Mm,
The one with all the crazy artwork in front?
I'm actually
Oh.
thinking of one in El Dorado.
Ah.
Yeah.
but kind of. And there's like, in the window there is a sign that was stolen from somewhere. And next to the door there is what do they call them? Those signs that like A fold out, and you have
Sandwich board?
sandwich board
Mm.
that has like the daily specials, and it's just weird shit. Like, not to imply that you can actually buy stuff here. It is like song titles and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So yeah, the two people open the door. They see that you're in the garb and that you're with Bradley, and they usher you in. The young lady that was sitting on the rocker in front scans you up and down again as you walk through the door. And Bradley shuffles after you, repeating some of the things that you said, like you're. Well, how did you phrase it?
My name?
No, in terms of like you have physical skills.
I have skills that fall more in the physical realm.
He's whispering that to the other folks.
Oh.
Question.
Yes,
So as I'm passing this woman, you said it was a rocking chair or a wheelchair?
rocking chair.
Oh, okay. I was like, does she need healing? Okay, never mind.
You do notice track marks though.
Okay. So just because I'm an angel and I'm in the right personality to do it right now, as I'm passing by her, I do try and reach out with the little bit of healing magic that I have, just to kind of ease any symptoms of either withdrawal or, the drugs negatively affecting her body.
Okay. What are you gonna roll?
For healer, I have 12. And I'm gonna stick with 12. I mean, like we said, I'm not that close to my god right now, so I'm just trying to give some comfort.
She was checking you out as you walk through the door, but there's a look of shock on her face as a glow goes through her body. And it's not the most impressive feeling, but she recognizes that something has happened. And she doesn't hear Bradley repeating the double entendres or any of that. There's just, the camera focuses on her face as this look of awe comes across it. And by default, we'll cut either there or as you enter the room, or into the building.
We can cut there.
Okay, so we cut on her look of. Okay. All right. So. And it is 10 o'clock, so we'll do one or two more scenes, then we'll wrap it up. Like I said at the very beginning, I'm a little shaky myself, so we're not going to push it too hard tonight. I'll add one more thing to that scene.
Okay.
As you enter into the building, you can hear the music that's being played.
Music!
Yeah. And again, it's one of those things where you in that moment wouldn't recognize it, but the audience would recognize it as the music that was kind of being played over the car accident scene.
Okay.
And there's a feeling that this music is associated with the woman that was hit.
As the bard part of me covers all personalities, do I recognize the song?
Give me a roll.
And this is like this music she's hearing as she's going into the
Oh, that
building.
sucked. Okay. 12.
Okay. For a 12, it's new. Like, it's not very well known.
Okay.
So,
You haven't been catching up on music in the last 1,000 years.
It's not Mozart. I don't know who this is. I know
Is that Beethoven guy still around?
but, yeah, so you can't quite place it. You're not sure.
it must be this bebop that I've heard of.
Did one of the others recognize it?
I mean, all of us together make up the bard, so if they recognized it, I would.
Okay.
Would you ask the others if they recognize the song? Would they clue you into the fact that you're the only one hearing it?
I don't. Does it? What's the name of this music that's playing?
And actually, as you ask that, we'll go ahead and,
Okay,
and
fair
cut
enough.
the scene at that moment.
I was going to suggest one quick scene that I probably need to get out.
Okay.
Yeah, me too, actually. So.
Yeah.
It was going to be a more personal scene of Ein slowly walking down to. So imagine, like, you know those parts of Kellogg that dip down and they've got the really ornamental, like, siding on the.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So imagine, like, there's like 7 or 8 more of those than there are, and she's kind of like parked her motorcycle on the side and like pocketed the keys. She's pretty sure it's not going to be there when she comes out because half the time it isn't. There's a little maintenance door in there, and she pulls it open, shuts it behind her, and kind of cuts of angles of her going through, and she's got her hood up and she's carrying her motorcycle helmet under her arm. And eventually
the
she
head's
opens
in
up.
the helmet.
Actually, yes.
Of course.
But she finally opens up a door, and there's somebody sitting at a table under a light, and you can tell there's more activity going on, like other rooms around here. But this room, there's single hanging light, table. There's somebody kind of sitting there with paper strewn out, and he's kind of got his head in his hands, and he looks up. Ein. What is the goal of Loch Link? Oh, Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Are you going to go off on this fucking again? What is the goal of Loch Link? To make sure it doesn't come up from the depths and to lock it if it does. And what does that mean? You don't fucking tell me that, do ya? It is for everyone to find out on their own. Then why'd you fucking ask me? Do you know? That is not the question, Ein. Aegon, what do you want? You broke the veil this evening. The fuck do you mean? He was a Seelie. You still broke the veil. You revealed your presence while on a mission. To who? You were supposed to be secretive. You were supposed to be silent. You have failed in both of these. What are we going to do with you? And I'm trying to figure out what they're going to do with her at this point as well. So, if you have any suggestions or...
With where I'm at right now, let's cut it there.
Okay.
I think that's a mysterious place to cut.
I think...
Kinda cool.
Let's say he shuffles around one of the papers, picks it up, folds it, and hands it to her.
Mm-hmm.
She picks it up, flicks open the motorcycle helmet visor, holds the paper in front of it. Reaction of a look of confusion and then almost horror on her face, and then cut.
Cool. All right. I am good with that standing as is.
I am probably gonna have to cut out of here.
Yeah.
Alright,
Val's
take care of
been-
Val.
Yeah.
It was great seeing everyone again. Thank
nice to
you.
meet you.
Nice
Have
to
a
meet
good
you.
night.
You too.
Nice to meet you. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Bye, Logan. Good seeing you again.
Good seeing you all too.
I'll probably hop out as well.
Okay.
These
All right.
people
Cool.
log in.
Yes.
That's good. Good to meet you, man.
Yes.
Nice to meet you,
It's
sir.
So much fun.
Oh, you're
this
heading
is
out
great.
too? It's nice to meet you.
Hope you can come back.
I hope so. This is a lot of fun. I love how freeform this is, and
Yeah. What basically the format that I do is that when I make the event for the next session, I will send an email out to everybody on the list. You RSVP, you're on that list. And seats are first come, first reserved. Usually there's not competition for them. If we do have overflow, then whoever's in overflow gets dibs the following session.
okay,
Okay.
that sounds great.
Cool. Once again, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
And David,
Super
right?
excited. Yes.
Alright, nice to meet you, David.
Super excited to continue this. Do you keep these or?
Yeah, I'll go
Okay.
ahead and hold on to all of that. And
Are you wanting to stop for tonight?
I'm trying to think if there's something particularly dramatic that I want to throw in. But like I said, I'm a little wobbly, so I don't think I'm going to give a good cliffhanger tonight.
Okay.
So I will just call that good.
Alright, sir.
Okay.